Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 24th of August, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up 0.5% today to 7,182 points, with WiseTech Global, which was absolutely hammered yesterday, performing best, jumping more than 8%. There were some pretty good performers, though. All the banks were higher, with Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank and Westpac rising more than 1%. The energy stocks, Woodside and Santos, also outperformed. Macquarie Group and Newcrest Mining were both up around 1.8%. REA Group jumped 2.4%, while Xero finished 3.5% stronger. The underperformers were the big supermarket chains. Coles and Woolies went backwards, while Telstra also did poorly. Story number 2, plenty of results today. Qantas announced a bumper $2.5 billion full-year profit. Ramsay Healthcare said the post-pandemic recovery in earnings from its hospitals and day surgeries will take longer than expected. And while net profit was as expected, the group slashed the dividend in half. That, along with a downbeat earnings guidance, was enough to push Ramsay's share price 12% lower today, the worst of the top 200. Nine Entertainment announced a drop in revenue, profits and dividends. The free-to-air TV business suffered from a fall in revenue and higher costs. The highlight in the result was Stan, where it was able to maintain its 2.6 million subscribers, 2.2 million of those are paying, and boost margins through higher pricing. Story number 3, diversified miner South32 announced a $173 million net loss following a big write-down in the value of its Hermosa base metals project. South32's underlying earnings tumbled 65% to about $900 million, down from $2.6 billion last year. That pushed its share price down 2.4%. South32 boosted production in aluminium by 14%, base metals by 17%, and manganese by 4%, but earnings took a big hit as commodity prices fell from record levels the previous financial year. Boss Graham Kerr said cost increases in terms of labour are much more pronounced in Australia than in other jurisdictions. He doesn't like the Albanese government's industrial relations changes. He warned the same job, same pay policy was bad for productivity. Story number 4, current Wall Street darling Nvidia says the artificial intelligence boom will last well into next year, and it's so confident it will buy back around $25 billion worth of stock. $25 billion worth of stock. Now, given the group's share price is currently at a record, it must have great confidence, because as a shareholder, you want to make sure when your company's buying its shares back, they're not buying them back at the peak. So Nvidia is showing just how confident it is in the artificial intelligence revolution, and of course, its part in it. Nvidia, which has a near monopoly on the computing systems used to power services such as ChatGPT and OpenAI's generative AI chatbot, plans to ramp up production next year. Boss Jensen Huang told Reuters the 2 things driving demand are a switch from traditional data centers that were built around central processors to ones built around Nvidia's chips, and the rising use of content generated by AI systems in everything from legal contracts to marketing materials. And story number 5, an extraordinary one. Mercenary leader Yevgeny Prigozhin, who led a brief armed rebellion in Russia earlier this year, was on the passenger list of a private jet that crashed this morning north of Moscow. Prigozhin's key allies were also on the plane, and the bodies of all 10 passengers and crew members on board have been found. Who's to blame? British security sources are being quoted as saying it was the work of the FSB intelligence agency on the orders of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Supporters of Prigozhin said the death was a result of the actions of Russian traitors. US President Joe Biden, well, he just said he wasn't surprised that the mercenary was dead. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 24th of August, 2023. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Friday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.